Daniel, brother, what's up, dude?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm great, thanks, man. How are you?
Great. This is the third time I'm here, so
Bro, you're the only person that I think about it has been on three times in a row. I think I've had one or two people on twice, but you're the first person on three times. Stoked to have you here for the third time. What are we talking about today?
all right. So what I want to kind of do here is just like a whole bunch of uncategorized things. I actually made a thread on this about Twitter. It's just like a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't necessarily fit directly into like a cold email category, but very important things that we should talk about, and then like get your feedback on it too, and just kind of let it go rolling, right?
Let's do it, dude. I know you're gonna bring value and high energy, so I'm gonna follow your lead.
All right, dude. I'm gonna share my screen. Give me a
Awesome.
second. Okay. So first thing I want to talk about is like making really small lead lists, and this is just an example lead list right here. This is three people, but you run a big agency, right? And you have a waiting list, right? And I'm sure you know at this point, it's like, dude, you might as well just go for smaller amounts of prospects that are higher value. It just makes it makes way more sense than going for like I don't know, like 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month clients. It doesn't make particularly much sense because it's like the thing is, if you it's not difficult to get clients, and you know that, and like you can make all these systems of cold outreach and everything like that. But it's like, say you're doing like email marketing right now, you got to the point where you're just so absolutely good at this. I don't know how many years you've been doing this, probably like 4 or 5 years plus, and you've just become so good. You're basically a referral machine now. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and start doing cold emails to get like the first couple clients. But I mean, at the point where maybe you hit like 50K a month or like 30K a month or something like that, it's like, if you're doing good work, you're just going to get a bunch of referrals. But in terms of just the beginning, yeah, go ahead and start trying to use like cold email, cold outreach to go ahead and get clients. So number one thing, make smaller lead lists. And it's not just cold email. You have LinkedIn, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, and there's all these different kinds of mechanisms, very unique things that you can do to get clients, right? So that's just the first thing I wanted to touch on.
Awesome.
Something I would like to talk about is when you're making lead lists, is go find people that are hiring for a particular role, right? So for instance, we've got email marketing Clavio right here. I just put that in and then I went to jobs. These are all jobs posted in the last week. So it's like, okay, what you could do, you can literally go to these companies, open link, and then this loads up. Now what's going to happen is we have this whole giant thing right here. And then you click on people. Now it's going to load up all the people. And the reason why you're going to see it's not going to show their names here is because this is like a burner LinkedIn account, right? So this would actually say his name, and you can click onto his profile, right? And a lot of people have their actual email on their profile, right? Now stalk this guy, get his Instagram, get his Facebook, get everything, and you're going to omni-channel outreach to these people. And I know people are thinking it's like, oh, I'd rather just like automate this whole process, but it's like, dude, just make a small lead sheet of 50 people. And it's like, say you're a beginner, someone buys your course, and they're going to do like Clavio email marketing or something like that. It's like, dude, listen, it's not a good idea if you're a beginner to go and get like 5 clients at once, because then now you're a beginner, you're not particularly sure. Yeah, you could buy a course, you could buy consulting, like get a pretty fine understanding, but you will not achieve mastery in any fashion without actually doing the work. And it's only through the personal experience of you that you achieve mastery. So it's like, okay, make a small lead sheet, 50 people, perfect prospects, and you just work that lead sheet across many different channels for a very long time, like a month and a half. Okay, now you got a client. Great. Make sure you give good results and don't get more clients until you get them really good results, right?
Yep.
So another little thing you can do, particularly on LinkedIn, is LinkedIn supports Boolean searches. So if you go up here, I put in quotes D2C and e-commerce in quotes. So every person you're going to see here has both of these exact strings inside of their bio, right? So again, this is like a burner LinkedIn account, so you're just seeing LinkedIn member. But let's say you wanted to scrape all of these people, like you just want to scrape all their emails. I'm going to show you how to do that. So this tool, clean leads, right here. Now, what do you want to do? LinkedIn extract emails. You have to install a Chrome extension, cool, and then you just make a list, right? So e-commerce Clavio, right? So if we go over here, back to LinkedIn, Once you've installed the Chrome extension, you kill Chrome, you open it back up, you're going to have these little two things down here. So let's do clean leads email extractor, select the list, right? E-commerce Klaviyo. All you do, extract emails from this search, right? Now leave this here for like 30 minutes. You can extract like 1,000 a day. It doesn't actually generate profile visits, it just does it in the back end. So what it starts to do, what you're going to see in a second, it'll just go to the next page. It's grabbing these links and it's going to start extracting their email addresses. Now what'll happen is inside of clean leads, if you go over here, this will start to populate, right? And then you can download a CSV. But something else to note is, let's say you can't necessarily find your perfect prospects on a LinkedIn search. Let's say you're trying to get e-commerce stores, right? Okay, cool. If you are somehow able to generate a list of domains, and this isn't just e-commerce stores, doesn't matter what you're pitching. If you're just some kind of list of domains, what you do in clean leads, there's this particular tool. So let's just say we did Klaviyo. I don't know. These are e-commerce stores with Klaviyo installed, right? So give me maximum contacts and then specify what exact job titles you want. So you see CEO, founder, tab, owner, tab, marketing, director, tab, right? And now you paste all of the domains here, you upload it, and then what happens is it finds the direct email addresses of people who hold these titles from the list of domains that you have. And then it's like, okay, so this one was accounting firms, right? Totaled on 109 and found 136 people, right? You download that, okay, bam, there's your list of direct contact information for these people, right? Another thing for scraping e-commerce is this tool right here, Contact Ecom. I actually own this, right? So now what this does, it kind of eliminates the use of having to generate a list of domains and then going in and putting it into that tool and going back and forth between these Google Sheets. So I'll just give you, for instance, you go here to search. What I'll actually do first is I'm going to make a list first. I'm going to insert it into a list. So I'm going to go here to list action, create new list. I'm just going to do Klaviyo. Okay, so now that's a list. I go over here to search and I do all apps. So these are all built on Shopify. I just do Klaviyo.
Nice.
Right now it's like, okay, I have a bunch of these here. So I'm gonna, all these stores have Klaviyo installed, right? And now what we're doing is, this is the title of the person. So like marketing director, founder, CEO, right? You're just instantaneously unlocking this. Klaviyo add. I had two lists named Klaviyo. Let's go over here to leads, right? All leads. Klaviyo. That was probably the other one, Klaviyo, right? Here they are, right? Now you get the direct email addresses of these people and the LinkedIn profile. So when you export this, it's just a giant CSV and it'll look something similar.
Sick.
Yeah. So you just instantaneously unlock it. So something I want to talk about now is there's 1.5 million ways to personalize a cold email. You need to personalize a cold email, right? No one likes getting spam. You don't have to do this thing where you just write like a compliment to the person in the first line. There's so many ways to do this. I want to talk about this system that this guy James Watson taught me. You should follow this guy on Twitter. I very highly recommend him. And he has this pinned on his profile right now, the personalized image system. He came onto my course and he showed us how to do this. So I'm going to show you how to do this now, right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this tool called Hyperize. Now I made this image of myself. You see this?
Sweet.
Right? So first name, if I promised I could increase your Klaviyo revenue 20 to 30% in 30 days, or I'd PayPal you $100, would you be interested? Right? So you're making a promise here. It's like, I promise I can do this. If I can't do it, I'm gonna send you $100, right? So what you do in Hyperize is you upload this image, right? So it's like Canvas settings. Then you're gonna upload an image right here, right? And then now what happens is you just write this in here. And you see how this merge field is here, first name?
Yep.
Right. So we want this to auto-populate on each prospect individually to the point where it's like, now that email will just say, if the guy's name is Callaway, it's like, Callaway, if I promised I could, you see what I mean? So what you want to do is in integrations here, once you've uploaded this and you added your text, what you want to do is whatever sending tool you're using, like in this, for instance, I'm going to show you Mailshake. So I click Mailshake right here, and then this link will populate. This is specific to Mailshake. And as a side note, I'm making a mailing app right now, and my mailing app will also have this. That's the next SaaS I'm working on, is a mailing app.
Daniel, on that question, when will your product be live, you think?
Dude, it's an absolutely complex thing to make. It's so difficult, but we're doing it. We're trying to do it right. So
okay,
we'll
make an announcement in a video when it's live, so that way we can talk about it.
Yeah, we've got a team of 5 devs right now making this thing, so it's insane.
Sick.
Yeah, so I'm going to copy this link, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to this lead sheet right here. We've got these 3 people, right? And now you're seeing this reply, touch 1, touch 2, touch 3. Don't worry about that right now. We'll get to that. So I'm going to download CSV. I'm going to come over here to Mailshake. We're going to make a little test here. Start new campaign. In this Chase test.
Cool.
Right, I'm going to upload this. Full name, company name, like map the merge fields. Ignore that. No thanks, not right now. It's just an example, right? So I'm going to insert first name, insert. Give me a second. I'm not writing good copy here. I'm just using this as an example.
Yep.
I'm just gonna, hey, first name, right? So what you want to do is to just copy that. I have to recopy this over on Hyperize. Copy the link, go back over to Mailshake. Right, okay, so listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna click this button.
Okay.
Insert. Now that link from Hyperize, put that in right there, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now here this is first. See what I mean here?
Yep.
Right, so now what we're gonna do is, since that custom link has been added here, we're gonna go next. Now watch what happens. Callaway. If I promised I could increase it, you see that? Isn't that nuts? Okay,
that's
so how about Courtney? If I promised I could, see what I mean? Is this insane? So you see how this kind of like cuts off right here? So what you would actually want to do is like go back over to Hyperize and kind of like push that up a little bit. You see what I mean? So it doesn't get all kind of like screwy right here. Right. But this is crazy, right? So like, for instance, you don't have to do this just in your first email. You could do this in like a follow-up. So follow-up, and say you put like a picture of like a skeleton or something, right? So like, it's like, hey, name, still waiting for your response, like a skeleton, like you know the meme of the skeleton. He's sitting here like on a bench or something. He's like holding a cup of coffee, like you're still waiting. So there's 1.5 million different ways that you could do this, but this tool is absolutely amazing. So this guy James Watson is awesome. So now what I want to talk about, I want to point this out, is this guy Jeremy Haynes right here. Now, Jeremy Haynes runs a marketing agency, and his marketing agency works with guys like Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, Dan Locke. And the way Jeremy Haynes signed Dan Locke as client was he printed out a picture of his face and he made it the thumbnail of a video. And then when he starts the video, he says, hey, Dan, I'm holding this picture of your face, so you know I made this video for you.
That's sick.
Isn't that so smart? And now a guy like Dan Locke, if you're pitching a high-level prospect, say these guys are running like $50 million company or something like that. The only way you're going to get in touch with these guys if you do something that's never been done to them before, such as that, right?
It shows creativity, right? It shows that you're willing to think outside the box.
Exactly. Yeah. Now this whole category of what to put inside of your video is a whole other story. It's a whole different lesson, right? But something I want to talk about is what if you were doing video outreach here for these people, right? You have this lead sheet. Now you could do all these complicated system where it's like, okay, you can connect with Zapier using webhooks, Mailshake, and then like other tools to automate LinkedIn connections, and like using like first line personalization, like doing all these kinds of things where like it merges together. Maybe do like voicemail drops and stuff like that. That's cool. But if you're just working a lead sheet of 50 people, it's not something you really should worry about, because it's like, listen, dude, if your LTV of a customer is like $10,000, it's like, all right, we'll just like work 50 people. You're going to get one of them if you do them across very multi-channel stuff, right? So let's say for instance, you're working a lead sheet, right? If you go through a whole cold email campaign and they don't reply, hit them up somewhere else. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, do a little selfie video, right? And then specify on the lead sheet that you're working for 2 months, your 50 prospects. Okay, they haven't replied. They haven't replied, right? Okay, so what are you gonna do? LinkedIn Connect. Okay, okay, they didn't get back to you in LinkedIn. Okay, how about Instagram video DM? Okay, cool. That's like a selfie video. You see what I mean? You continuously go back and forth. So now let's say that this is extremely high level prospect. You're saying you're selling something extremely expensive, 20K, 30K to people, massive businesses, right? Okay. What if you made them a video in the fashion that Jeremy Haynes did his? And what if you go through this whole cold email sequence in LinkedIn and they just don't get back to you? What if they just don't get back to you? But they're a high value prospect. Your LTV is really high. Okay, here's what you do. You're gonna buy a domain. You're gonna buy video for first name, last name.com. You're gonna host your video on that domain. And now here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to this company right here, Handwritten. And now what you do is they write letters like this, and they write it in handwriting.
Wow.
And you're gonna send it to their office, and you're gonna be like, hey, Name, I've been trying to get in contact with you for the past month, and I made this really awesome video for you, but you just haven't got back to me. So what I did was I made this website for you, video for firstnamelastname.com. And I want you to go to it. Please get back to me. Please call me here. Please email me here once you've watched the video. You sent them a handwritten note and you bought a domain with their first and last name. Do you see how ridiculous this becomes?
Man, I don't even need or want clients, but I want to do this just because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, now listen. Let me give you something else. What happens if you get on the phone with someone and maybe they were a little iffy, they don't want to work with you yet, I don't know, maybe you just couldn't close the sale, but they're a high value prospect and you really want to get with them, right? Okay, how about we do this? There's this guy named Nick Abraham. Nick Abraham is one of my friends, and now what he did was he sent a brick to the prospect from Amazon with a gift note that said, hey, Miles, I hope to build something special with you. He sent a brick.
Wow.
You see how stupid this can become? There's all these little kind of like intricate things that you can aggregate together. And it's like, this seems daunting if you're trying to do this with like hundreds and hundreds of people. But it's just don't do it with hundreds of people. Just sell higher ticket stuff to very small amounts of people and go really, really deep in on it.
Man, this stuff is awesome, dude. Like it makes for great content. It makes for great stories. It makes for a great connection. I imagine if you land a client this way, and you probably will, that relationship, you're going to be able to laugh back at that with the client. That bond is going to be so special. You're really going to be able to stand out. Dude, I'm blown away. Like I'm going to publish this video on Monday. We're recording it on a Tuesday, right? So I'm almost like anxious. I want to publish this like right when we get off, dude. Like this is sick.
It's just really funny because, like I was saying earlier, someone might buy your course and they're like, okay, yeah, Klaviyo, email marketing, but it's like, dude, what you really want to do? And I know, like, there's this concept of like, oh, we're gonna scale this agency to $1 million. How long have you been running your agency?
I started my agency in June of 2018.
Yeah, so it's been a while, right? And now you are basically a referral machine. Now you have a giant waiting list, right? Yeah. So it's like you don't actually have to sit here and do these complex systems for so long, because it's like if you get your first client and you only work with that client for like 2 months, okay, now you're slowly achieving mastery here. You're getting very, very, very good at what you do, right? And then at this point, it's like, okay, now once you have gotten that client very good results, now you can worry about getting a second one. And now you're very slowly building a
Exactly.
team, because I see what beginners do all the time. They see how actually stupid easy this is to get people on the phone and sign clients. This is the easiest part, is getting the clients. So they'll get five in their first month, and they're like, okay, man, how do I deliver this? It's a bad idea. Really, really bad idea. You've been doing this since 2018. It's like now you are a legitimate master of Klaviyo, right?
Yes.
That's
But it
just
was it
how
was
it
one
is.
client at a time, right? Exactly. We started with one. We had no idea what we were doing. We learned really quickly, right? Then you bring on two, and then you bring on three, right? So we were basically spacing out clients so we could fulfill. Otherwise, you get five clients. That's great, but if you can't keep them, then you go back to zero pretty quickly, and then you kind
Mhm.
of are in this constant rat race where if you do it once, right? Do one client at a time, build it right, build the system, document everything that you're doing, getting client 2 and 3 and 4 is so much easier because now you have a workflow.
This idea of scale, it's really because like someone might be on like Twitter and they're seeing like, oh, this person is like, just sign my eighth client or something like that. And they're like, oh, I want to get 8 clients. I want to scale. I want to get to 50K a month. And it's like, well, dude, that's not something you can do very fast. It's like the idea of signing 8 clients in like 4 months is if you don't have the capacity to the operational ability to manage an agency and service delivery, and that's something you acquire over a very long time, and I know you can speak to that. It's like you just can't do that. So it's like what I would recommend is you just like you get a really really good client using tactics like this, and then you are achieving mastery over a very long time. It's like keep this. I know you sit here now and you see all these tactics, and now you have this power. You're like, oh, I know what to do now. I can do whatever I want. Like, yes, keep it in your back pocket, but don't abuse it in the beginning.
Yeah, dude, you just basically opened up two different angles for people, right? This now is something that people can sell, right? They can sell this cold email, this outreach service for someone, right? So that's one business model. And then the other business model are the people that are actually performing Klaviyo, MailChimp, like whatever the skill set is. This is how they can get clients, right? So now you've actually provided this skill set that two different groups of people can utilize, which makes this extremely kind of applicable to probably anyone listening.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, this is some powerful stuff here, dude. Like and if you are like selling this as a service, like a lot of guys would be like, oh, I'm gonna go start a lead generation agency and I'll just send some cold emails. But it's like, okay, well, like if you want to do it the correct way, what you'd be doing is like you'd have a client who sells some very extremely high value thing, right? Because like say you get a commission on that. Say like they sell something that's like $100,000, and maybe you can negotiate like, okay, give me like a 1,500 setup and then like an 8% commission on everything you sign, right? And it's like, and
Huge.
some people might operate under the impression as if, oh, I can just go send cold emails, but it's like, no, 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 you got to like mix all these things together and go about it in this fashion of a very small lead sheet and go absolutely deep on each person. Because then if you're trying to get like $1 billion companies on the phone, you can't just cold email them. Like it doesn't work like that. Because like your open rates, if you're trying to pitch like chief marketing officers of like a $500 million company, like I absolutely promise you this guy is getting like 35 cold emails per day, and you're competing with thousands of people trying to sell him something as well. And the only way you're going to get in contact with him is if you do something to him that has never been done to him before, such as the tactics I've just shown you.
Yeah, dude, could not agree more. So in the course that you have, do you go through all of this and then more? I know you're adding some new modules. Like, is that a good place for people that are like, damn, this thing is sick. Like, how do I get even more hand holding? I mean, obviously the value you gave here was 10 out of 10. How do people like learn more? Is it your course? Is it your Twitter? Like, how do people get involved?
Yeah, my course shows a lot of this. It does not currently show using handwritten, because we are
Okay.
working on that right now. But in terms of personalized images and like a bunch of other like kind of smart tactics you can do like this. And now this guy Nick Abraham I was just showing you with sending a brick, he's coming on and he's going to show people how to do these automated connections between like cold email and LinkedIn and like calls with using CRMs and like webhooks and like connecting it all together and syncing fully autonomous outbound campaign. So that's going to be in there shortly. And then Jeremy Haynes guy, you know how he did the print out a picture of someone's face? Well, I literally did that to him, and he's coming on too.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, I really respect the fact that you A, already have a lot of shit in your course, and B, it seems like on a monthly, if not every other month basis, you're trying to make it that much better and add new to it. So I'll make sure I drop a link for anyone that's still listening and watching in the video description. Daniel, man, this is fire. Anything else that you want to end, kind of any parting ways? I guess one question I have for you, on the last two videos, you gave me your Twitter update of followers. I think the very first time I had you on, you were probably in the ballpark of like 5,000 to 7,000 followers. I think the last time I had you on, you probably were in the ballpark of like 12 to 15,000 followers. I don't remember the exact numbers. Where are you sitting right now?
I'm at 27,000 now.
Oh my God, dude. Without making you go too into it, do you have like any advice for someone on Twitter? Like I mean, dude, your growth rate's insane. Like before, the very first video, I had more followers than you. At the second video, I had way less. Now the third video, I'm sitting at 16,000. You're sitting at 27,000. I thought I was doing a good job. You're clearly doing a great job. Any last advice on that?
So what I like to do is anytime I find something that's like pretty smart or something that maybe someone hasn't thought of or something I tried that started working, I just say it on Twitter. I'm like, hey, here's how you do this.
Yes.
Right. And it's like, then you just put it and it's like hundreds of retweets and likes and everything like that. And then like what I'm talking about was like this James Watson guy, this Nick Abraham guy. Now I'm talking with you and I get a video interviews with you. And it's just like constantly showing things over and over and over again, just like teaching people things and people like that. That's really the only way that it works.
So when you know your shit, when you're willing to share, when you're authentic and you genuine, you build relationships like Daniel, I think we've built a really good relationship and friendship. I really respect you and value, right? That's why you're here for a third time, right? So there's no substitute for delivering value and just being a good person.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to give some value, bro. And you're one of my good friends. So it's really fun to come on and talk with you.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I'll drop your Twitter, but for everyone that's listening, is it Black Hat Wizard with 2 Ds? Is that correct?
Yep. Black Hat Wizard with 2 Ds. Yeah.
Cool. And I'll drop all the links. So Daniel, thank you so much for being here, bro. I'm so fired up to get this video live.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
All right. Cheers.